Hey girlies, welcome back to SP Keeps Talking. Okay, so today's a good day. We're going to answer all your questions. I have a whole series of questions that's been asked by all the audience, and I have endeavored to answer them today. There is no script today. Did you bring your cup of tea? No? You need to get your cup of tea. You need to put your warm slippers on or whatever it is that you wear in the house, your lounging wear. Just get relaxed. And maybe you might need a little reinforcement because this is a clue. It's a clue to the first question. Let's get started. Why do hot flushes hit me in the middle of a meeting like a personal attack? Wow. Okay. Well, that's an easy one. You know what? These hormones have a flair for turning up at the wrong time, in the wrong places. Nobody cares. That's how they act. They act like nobody cares about me. So I just want to be in the middle of whatever you're doing. You know what the problem is? The problem is the hormones. When they fluctuate, you can't control the timing. You may have a meeting that may have caused you stress. Maybe the stress is what is making it happen more at that particular time. People have different triggers. And for mine, it's spicy food. I love my spicy food, I mustn't lie, but it is definitely a trigger. Also, if I have a glass of wine, it only takes me a couple of sips. So, nah. There's a lot of different triggers, and some people are more susceptible to some triggers than others. So you have to really take a look at what your triggers are. I'm not saying you can stop them happening altogether because it's going to fluctuate. The hormones are going to fluctuate no matter what we do. But maybe you can help to make it less of a massive event when it does happen to you, because I know how it feels and it can be really uncomfortable. So I think that the best thing to do is to identify your triggers. Some people, they're triggered by caffeine. Caffeine is a big one. But then caffeine also is a problem when it comes to the sleeping side of things. So that's one to look into. Yeah. So identify your triggers. I know how that thing goes. And it's just really, you can't control when, but you can probably help yourself by controlling just how bad the hot flushes are going to be, you know? And maybe when it comes to your meetings, if your triggers are anything to do with stress, perhaps if you get well prepared for anything you're doing or anything you're going to say in a meeting beforehand, or even if you speak to the person in charge beforehand and say, look, I might have to just duck out for a couple of minutes during the meeting. Please don't make it an obvious event, but it's just because I have really bad hot flashes sometimes and I just need a minute. So, if you see me just walking out, please don't say anything. It's okay. Don't be worried. I'm okay. I just need a minute and I'll just walk back in quietly and continue with the meeting. It's fine. You could do that. That could work, right? There you go. Wow, another question. Is the brain fog permanent or did I lose my mind for good? That is so funny. Do you know what? I totally understand how you feel about this one. No, you have not lost your mind. It is completely normal. And you know what? It's not just about hot flushes, is it? This one here is another very common symptom of menopause and perimenopause. No, brain fog is part of it. It is something that happens quite often. And the good news about it is that once everything eases and settles down and your hormones start to be more regulated, then that also subsides. It doesn't stay forever. So what it is just about managing again. It's just about managing in the moment. Do what you can to get through that moment. But it's so funny because the other day I opened the fridge, and this is something I've done a couple of times. I've opened the fridge to get something and literally forgotten what it was I wanted to get. So I was standing there looking at everything in the fridge, and people were walking past me and going, Mommy, you all right? Yeah, I'm all right. I'm just looking. I swear I had no idea. Well, up to now, I can't remember why I was in that fridge. So this lady's asking me, what happened to my libido? Did it move out without telling me? Probably. Mhm. Very possible. Because many of us have had a libido that has moved out. But you know what we did? We packed it and brought it back home. That's what we did. Yeah, we did that. So I tell you what, I'm glad you asked this question because it is a very difficult question for a lot of people to even say that they're feeling that way. So thank you for addressing that one. We'll talk about that. Vaginas at that time when the estrogen drops become dry and can be very sore. Um, some people are even prone to getting thrush and just having lots of issues. I used to get a lot of urinary tract infections. It's just common for things to start going wrong. And it's very off putting in terms of sexual activity because what you're feeling is discomfort. And that's the first thing at the front of your mind. So imagine if now you want to get into a romantic moment, it's just not on the cards. So it's understandable why you feel like that. If you have vaginal dryness, I would suggest that you go and visit your GP or speak to your medical practitioner about it because there are lots and lots of things on the market that you can use. I'm talking about gels, creams, all sorts of things, all sorts of emollients that you can use that help to lubricate that area just so that, you can feel normal again down there, which is helpful, isn't it? That's exactly what you need. Vaginal dryness doesn't feel dry all the time. It can come and go. So it's just like, then you know that the hormones are fluctuating because sometimes it feels completely normal. And then all of a sudden, even in the same day, it can feel like it's really, really uncomfortable. So I do understand how that feels. It's very common. Okay, so moisturizers and lubricants are readily available on the market. Trust me, you only need to go out there and find them. There's loads of places to get those. So just visit your GP. If you can't find them over the counter, definitely go to your practitioner and you'll get the help that you need. And these are the things that we're supposed to be talking about, to be fair. I'm really happy to have had that particular question because I know that a lot of people suffer that one in silence. And they need to be talking to their partners more. You need to be able to talk to your partner about what's going on with you because that leads people into an area where they start making their own assumptions about your feeling towards them when it's not about anybody else. This is about you. And it's really important to clarify that with your partner because it not communicating these things properly is the source of a lot of problems. Communication is key. Start with that because maybe even your partner has heard about this from other people and has a solution for you, but if they don't know that this is even happening and you're sitting there in silence and not getting involved with them anymore, then they start to think that it's more to do with the relationship between the two of you rather than what is happening with you. They would never think it's just you. So yeah, be open and honest and free with your information, and then you'll get the response that you need, and you'll work together as a team to fix the issue because nobody wants dry vaginas. No, thank you. Yeah. Okay, then. So, what's the next one? Is HRT safe, or is it going to turn me into a walking risk factor? Yeah. So, I'm not a doctor. So, this is not me prescribing anything, but here's what I know about HRT. It's widely considered to be safe. You can definitely address that with your GP once again. I think that it's different for different individuals. So you have people that have certain medical conditions and they cannot take HRT. There are people, like I've said in the previous shows, that sometimes people just want to have something that they consider to be natural herbs, which is absolutely fine as well. But HRT is considered to be safe, which is the reason why it should be is on the market in the first place. I am somebody who's taken HRT now. Um, it's a widely known fact amongst people who listen to my show that it's not something that I want to take for the rest of my days. I don't have any other medical conditions which require me to take medication all the time. I don't want to take HRT forever. So I'm still looking for a more natural remedy for this, because it's a natural process, isn't it? The whole thing is that menopause is supposed to be a natural process for your body to go through at a certain age or a certain stage, depending on your age or depending on if you're somebody who's had medical treatment early on and you've gone into early menopause. If you've had cancer treatment, you may have gone into menopause early, but it's a stage and it's a natural, normal stage for some of us. So we need to know what to do that suits us. And if it suits someone to take the medication that is prescribed, then yeah. I think that you have to do your own research though when it comes to that, because effectively you're putting medication into your body. So you need to know for yourself what it is that you are putting into your body and work it out with your GP, whether it's worth you taking it or if it's something that's safe for you as an individual. That's really important. You can't go according to what I'm saying, because what I'm saying is what works for me. But I had to do my own research before I even started taking it. And I had my own journey before I even got here. So, so yeah, I think it's best to discuss that with a practitioner. Yeah. I hope that helps. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if I'm even helping, but I'm trying my very best, because I do realize that some of these things are very distressing and people just you want to have normality in your day. And for so many things to be throwing you off in your day, it's very confusing, very stressful. So I get why you're asking the question, and let's work with finding out first and foremost what your GP is saying, and then moving on from there. Do a little bit of research behind closed doors as well. Yeah. Oh, this is a very common question as well. When does it all come to an end? Do you know what? I do get this. I know the frustration. Oh my gosh. Because whatever we go through in life, if we have an inkling that it's something that's going to come to an end soon, you seem to be able to manage it so much better. I mean, we have like a good example, giving birth. When labor started, I knew it was going to come to an end at a certain point. I didn't know what time. I just knew that they're not going to allow me, these medical staff are not going to allow me to stay in labor for days upon days, and it's not going to go on for the rest of my life. I knew that. And that was enough for me to go back the second and the third time. Because you know it's not going to be forever. So this is something that once it starts, the unfortunate thing about it is that there isn't an exact, like, unlike with labor, unlike with pregnancy, they say it's 9 months. And on average, in most cases, that's what it is. But there isn't anything like that. I know that some people talk about, oh yeah, it doesn't take long, just a couple of years, just a few years. I don't know about that, because for me, it's been a few years I've been going through perimenopause. I can identify symptoms that started when I was around 40. And that was just starting off with the period changes. That was around 40. And then as the years have gone by, there's been things adding to it. I had night sweats for a couple of years before I had hot flushes in the day. So I thought, oh, this is wonderful, because I was around people that were having hot flushes, how much they struggled to manage. So I was thinking, do you know what? I'm so glad I don't have hot flushes. If it's the night sweats alone, I'm happy to deal with just that when it comes to sweating, because I'm not a person that sweats easily. That's another thing. I think that's why it was such a big thing for me, because I'm always cold. So for me to be in a position now where I felt like I'm overheating and I'm actually sweating, Like, that's highly unusual for me. So now I was really happy when I found out that I wasn't going to have them, because this is what I told myself. All of a sudden, one day, I had this major, I call it an attack. It was an attack of heat. And I didn't know what was happening. I was at work and it wasn't hot. So I was thinking, what's going on here? It happened a few times in that day and I couldn't understand what was happening. And then all of a sudden, I had this massive feeling of my head felt like it was going to explode. And with that came palpitations. My heart was racing and I just felt like I was going to pass out. Like, it was racing so much that I felt like I was going to pass out. I wasn't panicking. I didn't feel stressed. I just felt so hot that I just felt like I was going to collapse. I felt lightheaded. And I thought, maybe this is to do with my anemia. I went and got that checked. Nah, this was the beginning of my hot flushes. And it went on like that for some time. So I've had that issue, and that was actually that, and the skin problems were the two main reasons that I had to end up seeking help from my GP, because those two things were really disruptive during my day at work. I can't be scratching head to toe, itching, extra dry skin, all of that during the daytime at work. It just looks crazy. It looks crazy, right? It can't. It doesn't work. And when you work in a hospital environment, you have to wash your hands very, very often. I needed to be able to moisturize constantly. So I needed help with that. And I, because I have a skin condition, I have eczema anyway. My skin is usually dry, but I know how to manage that. I've had that all my life. That's not something that I even talk about, to be fair. But now this level of dryness that comes with menopause is a whole different, it ramps up to a whole different level. So I just was dry in a way that was incredibly abnormal. I'm wearing a dress and tights at work. Tights is now, it's sucking the oil from my skin and making me itch more. It was a nightmare. And then, yeah, with the hot flushes and just like being fine with a patient, I'm talking to a patient at 1 minute and the next minute my face is pouring with sweat, and then I'm looking like I'm going to pass out, and the patient's asking me if I'm okay when I'm supposed to be looking after you. I said, no, this has to stop. It has to stop. It can't keep on like that. It looks unprofessional, and I just felt like it needed to be dealt with immediately because I tried too many things and it just wasn't working. So this is how I ended up in that position. But ooh, time frames. No one's got a time frame for you, girly. I'm telling you, I said 40 was the first symptom for me. Imagine I'm 52 now, on the verge of 53, and I am still going through the same things. I mean, I've had a break from HRT. I came off for a couple of months just to give my body a rest from medication, and it was a couple of months of complete mayhem, because it takes a while for the HRT to start working in the first place. It take a few weeks for it to really get into your body and start to work well with your body. So now all of a sudden I'm having the skin itching, the hot flushes are ramped up, the night sweats are ramped up, the dryness is back, the yeast infections are back. When I say everything, I mean everything. The migraines, just everything in one go. They just all came back all together. Plus, obviously, the sleepless nights and all of the rest of the stuff, the misery, the emotional stress and anxiety, and just feeling out of body, like just not like myself. All of that came back in one go, just from me being off the HRT for a month or two. But I felt like I needed to do that just to reset myself. And then I went back onto it again. But it just goes to show that it does do something. I mean, it doesn't completely take away everything, but it definitely does quite a lot for me. I don't know when it's going to come to an end, hence me looking for other treatments. You know, nothing wrong with looking for something else too, you know. It's your body and you're in charge of your body. So you are the one that needs to say yay or nay. Don't feel pressured into taking anything. Don't feel pressured into doing anything. You need to be well informed and make an informed decision for you, a personal one. Yeah. Don't ever feel like you have to do anything. Oh, yes, I love this bit. Okay, now we've got a rapid fire round. People are asking me questions, quick questions. They want me to give quick answers. Okay, all right. So here's a couple now. Cold water or fan? Oh, gosh. I'll say fan. Fan always, because cold water means that my makeup could be running off my face and my eyelashes could come off. There you go. That is my answer, and I'm sticking to it. I say fan every time. Hopefully the batteries don't run out, but the fan, and the fan is quicker than water. Who's got time to go and find water when you're sweating? No, no, no. Fan. I'm good. Worst symptoms nobody warned you about. Ooh, I don't know. See, there's a few. There's a few. I don't like any of them, so I don't even know. How do you? Worst. I reckon. Okay, I think. Hmm. Uh, okay, I'm going to say itching. Itching. No, but the hot flushes are bad. But they're not always bad. Sometimes they're itching. Itching inside the ears. So uncomfortable. It's the weirdest feeling to be itching inside your ears. Now I've told you I've had eczema all my life, but nobody said that the inside of your ears can itch like that. They itch. Like itch. Like it's highly weird. It actually hurts. Because if I get a cotton bud and I scratch inside my ears, which I shouldn't, don't do anything that I say that I do, because it's not right. It's not right. It's not right. But I do scratch inside my ears with cotton buds. They end up hurting in there. So it needs to be dealt with differently. But the inside of the ears itching, I promise you, irritating. Who wants to be itching? You can't scratch inside your ears at work. Again, I always have to refer back to work because I spend a lot of time working. You can't have clients around you in meetings and then all of a sudden you're scratching inside your ears. What is that? Yeah, it's the itching. I don't like it. Yeah, I don't. One thing you wish you'd known at 45. Oh, about what though? That's not a very clear question. I would say that asking for help is not a crime. Yeah, sourcing help is not a crime, because I think it took me far too long to I knew that my body was changing for a long time, but I didn't think it was something I didn't know how to approach talking to people about it. I think I felt a bit embarrassed, uncomfortable. So yeah, maybe that one. Maybe just asking for help was okay. That's something that I think I would have liked to know a little bit earlier. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so best three words for this whole chapter. You know what I would say are the best three words for this chapter in our lives? I would say grow, glow, and flow. But you knew I was going to say that. You did. And that's a setup. I think that's a setup. You actually knew I was going to say that. That's not the best three. I'm not even going to say those anymore. Okay, let's scratch that. Let me think of three words that best describes this chapter: powerful, liberating, and real. If you have any questions that I didn't address today, you know I'm going to address them at some point. So just remind me in the comments. You know I'm going to address them. Don't worry about that. So same time next week, we will hook up. It's been lovely spending this time with you today. Don't forget your fans. I promise you, you're going to need them. I am so hot today. Have I managed to pull it off? I'm hot today, but I'm so glad that I spent the time with you. Okay, ladies, until next week, let's keep it real. Okay.